podcast joint with Ciara.
Yo, what the deal? This is T Money, and you are now watching the T Money podcast joint featuring Ciara Ross.
Hey.
What the deal, C? What's happening? I like that shirt you got there for yourself. That's the T Money podcast joint. The featuring Ciara Ross Haberdash. That is specially made for our launch event coming up pretty soon this month in August. You know what I mean?
Excited.
But today, listen, enough of that. But today we got a very special guest. I'm so intrigued to have this interview today because there were so many things in doing my research for this gentleman that I personally didn't even know. My man Al Skratch from the group Ill and Al Skratch. What's up?
Yes,
Welcome,
yes.
Al.
Welcome.
Al, what the deal, man? How you doing, brother?
I'm good, brother. Thank you for having me.
Good seeing you, man.
Nice to
Likewise.
meet you.
He's so look at him. He's so cool, man. I need them glasses. You're gonna leave them glasses here when you leave. Listen, so I wanted to talk to you, for a while. I haven't seen you in over a decade. But more importantly, I saw you not a couple months ago, right?
Yep.
At this fashion joint. So that's how we kicked in. We talked, and I'm glad I got you down here. But so the first thing I want to talk to you about is it's been a long time, and in the time period that you and Ill actually came together and did these songs. I mean, the songs that you guys created are hood anthems. Where my homies. A lot of the songs that you guys did were really special. Okay, and you did it in a short period of time, and you also had collabos with a couple of big artists, and you toured and everything. What was the formula, bro? Like, I mean, I'm starting from there. I really want to go back to your early years, but I just wanted to ask you that question off the rip. What was the formula? I mean, I know you guys. Ill's from Brooklyn, right? And you're from up top. You're from Harlem, right. Official, right? So how you guys link? What was the formula in regards to how you guys did the music? Because there would be so many artists right now that would give their left arm to have the start of their career the way you guys started. You guys came out the box hot. Mm-hmm. So talk to me a little about that. How there was some sort of formula you guys had pieced together. I mean, you guys had a good energy. You know what I mean? So talk to us a little about that.
Yeah, I think that with all of the artists that came out during our era,
right.
So many of them, I think that, the formula, a piece of the formula really was the production, and being able to work with people like LG, you know what I'm saying, who is Easy Mo Beats' brother.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
You know
that's
what
right.
I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
These are guys who really took production serious, and when they work with an artist, they really wanted to make a success out of the group. It wasn't just, I'm going to give you a beat, rhyme to it, and let's see what happens.
Right.
In addition to LG, we also had a good brother by the name of Tony Prendat, the lowrider, and, working out a big facility like Soundtrack Recording Studios. You're working with multi-million-dollar equipment.
Right.
And they have the sonics that are going to make you sound a little bit different than just, what was actually happening at the time. So we had a little bit of an advantage. In addition to being inspired by folks coming out of the West like Dr. Dre and his sound being so now big and advancing on what we had established here in the East.
Because your songs, they are official. Sonically, they're dope. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
And when we play, we played the videos. You know what I mean? But my thing is like, when I listened to them, I was like, well, these dudes are going to be the next biggest thing to me. You know what I mean? So it's interesting that you just said that because that's indeed the truth. Your songs sound great. You know what I mean? So talk to me a little bit about that. More importantly, I'm sorry I cut you off.
No, that's good.
But talk to me more about that, and more importantly, like how you and Ill got together in the first place. Like, how did that happen?
Well, actually, me and Ill got together in the studio, and the link was LG, because Ill, salute to my man Big Ill. You know what I'm saying? Ill is his acronym for Our Lyrical Lord.
That's right. Oh, dope.
And
dope.
this is a dude who, at one time back in the days, The Source had this thing called Unsigned Hype. And he was in that column because his lyrics was up to par, and it was like, he's gonna be the next big thing. You know what I'm saying? So LG was like, Ill likes this song that I had did with another partner that I had. I was in a group, and he wanted me to participate on Ill's demo. And the name of the song we did was called "Creep with Me." Right. It was a demo. So the deal that I actually had with the label at the time, I still had, even though that group had, kind of parted ways, but I still had that opportunity.
Right.
So the label heard the demo. they heard Ill's entire demo, but they heard me and him together on that Creep With Me demo song and wanted us to do a remix to it to see how we would sound.
Right.
Now that I was no longer with this other group.
Right.
And the remix to Ill's Creep With Me is With My Homies.
Right.
That's
where
we really started meshing and being in the studio for hours and building and kind of drafting up like, all right, so what we gonna be? You know, what's the name of the group? And you know, first thing that came to mind was like Run DMC. Let's keep it simple. What's your name? Ill. What's your name? Al Skratch. We Ill Al Skratch, and we ain't want it to be all flying colors and all corny. We just kept it straight like how it was.
Right.
But our energy from the beginning was good because he just liked how my voice sounded, which was, you know, a lot of people think they call me Al Skratch because my voice is scratchy or raspy. But I'm actually a DJ, you know, but he just liked my energy, and his energy is crazy. You know, Brooklyn energy is like...
It's different.
It's different.
It's definitely different, yeah.
But my energy is like that because I'm an uptown hype DJ.
Right.
So together, it kind of had that nice formula.
Right.
You know?
You do have a great voice. That's something you can't teach. You can't teach whether or not you got a dope voice or if you have a great delivery. You can't teach the energy. You know, when you're an artist, you know, those things, either you got them or you don't. You understand?
Absolutely.
So you guys signed to Mercury, right?
Yes.
And Mercury dropped Where My Homies. And right at that point, you know, the block got hot to me. You know, because like when you got a hit record in New York, first of all, there's no other place, and I'm not discrediting any other place.
Right.
But when you got a hit record here, it's bananas. You hear it in the cars in the street. You hear it in the clubs. You hear it at the corner store. You hear it everywhere. You know, and that record, When My Homies, you heard it everywhere. You know what I mean? So, tell me about the impact that it had on you as an individual. I mean, were you DJing before you were rapping? So you were DJing all this time, right? Before that.
Absolutely.
So tell me a little about the impact that it had on you during this time when the record came out, because you know the record was all over the place and it took off like wildfire.
Right. You know, at the time I was still, you know, working, doing my little 9 to 5. And, you know, you working and then, like you said, you hearing people with mixtapes. Back then it wasn't really called mixtapes, but it was DJs who had their tapes out.
Right.
But you hear them playing this new joint, Ill Al Skratch with my homie. And, you know, and back then we had 3 different radio stations that was playing the song. So when you hearing it on KISS, BLS, and Hot 97, which you basically knew, it was kind of like, you know, wow, this is really happening and it's taking off. In addition to Ralph, people like Ralph, Salute Uncle Ralph, Video Music Box, and that other box that rocks where people could actually call in and request it. So you're not only hearing
Charge
it,
you $2.
Yeah, you seeing it. So it's really, it's undeniable. You know, and even though, you know, moms is like, you know, boy, listen to that music now. You got this job, you don't want to leave your job, but when it start ringing off, it's kind of like it's calling you to say, you know, this is something you've been working on and now it's happening. It's kind of like you got to, you know, just rise to the occasion because the people demanding it. You know.
And you guys at this point, I mean, you had the single, and you put out a second single, right? And then you were actually working on your album, right?
Right. Well, we didn't know we was working on an album. We was just working on songs. But like you said, once that song got hot, because remember back in the days, it was like a white label.
Right.
So you hit off Mr. C.
Oh yeah, no
see
question.
What it do. You hit off Primo, see what it do. You hit off Kid Capri, because they all on those different
I got the white label.
You know what I'm saying?
I got it, so I know.
So depending on that feedback that's coming back is going to determine whether or not we're going to move forward. But due to the fact that, oh snap, this is really moving forward, now it's like, all right, start working on these songs.
So what was the energy as it relates to, like, what I know you guys, you and Ill are kind of different, you know, as far as rappers are concerned.
Yes.
You know, I mean, and that works, you know, like Greg Nice and Smooth Beat are different. Like, you know, in a group that kind of works, like DMC and Run, they're kind of different, you know what I mean? Because you
need that dynamic.
It's yin and yang, you know what I mean? You can't be the same. It won't work anyway. But, like, you know, I know you guys at this point came together, and then you conceptually, you thought, well, what kind of album you wanted to piece together. What were some of the conversations like? What were you guys trying to...
That's
energy you were trying to convey to the
be honest with you, it wasn't a thought process. It was really a feel. It was just really, you know, play these loops, play these beats, and see what we come up with. But like I said, going back to production and producers who could say, you know, because that song With My Homies, I'll give you a perfect example. The hook is 4 bars out of a rhyme that I wrote to the Barry White loop. But LG was like, nah, say that part again. Keep saying that part. Go in the booth right now, lay that part. And off of that 4-bar section of a rhyme that I wrote, just being in the studio, just going through the motions, that became the hook. And we built around that. And I modified some bars, and Ill came in, and then we got some people to come in and layer some vocals around what I did would come around my way, and all the chanting stuff, and gave it some more soul and just deeper feel as far as sonics go. And that's what it was. It was really a feeling. Ill Out Skratch was just a vibe and a feeling of what we had in the studio. It was never a concept of like, all right, well, we go. Only thing was with the next song, I don't want to jump ahead of you.
No, go ahead.
That's where the A&R said, look, listen, we want to get somebody on this record because what y'all saying on here is another level.
But I was about to approach y'all when I saw y'all telling me to come around your way, and you had ill homies, huh? I didn't know what you was trying to tell me, son. Right. But anyway, no, but real talk, yeah, but that's right. The next song, you had the great Brian McKnight on the hook, right?
Absolutely.
You know, so that in itself is telling to me, because your career as a group is spanned 3-4 years.
Very quick.
Right.
Yep.
And you made such an impact on the business. Was it so? Do you think? And I've been thinking about this for like a week. So, do you think it was because of the 90s? Because the 90s were a very progressive time period.
Absolutely.
When it came to the music. You know what I mean? It was really,
transitional state.
Yeah, without question, because everybody dropped really quick. You know, there were so many labels trying to make things happen. New artists appeared daily. You know, and some, a lot of artists made it, and others,
kind of fell off.
did nothing, right? Kind of fell off, right?
Right.
So, but some artists like yourselves, not only did you make it, you made a historical impact. I mean, to this day, I'm more than certain, like you guys have chances to perform your songs. You know, which is giving you income that you would never think at this point in time that you'd be making, right? So. So do you think it was just more of the time period, or was it the fact that you guys were actually that fortunate or that good at the time? You know?
You mean as far as the success?
The success, yeah, because like I said, many artists come out. Sometimes they come out and they don't jump off the table at first.
Right.
They might have mild success, and then they put out an album, and then their album does well because there's a song on the album that does well.
Right.
Some radio stations pick up a B-side, maybe. But you came out with your A-side swing. Right, came out swinging. You were Mike Tyson out.
Swinging.
Your fight was 50 seconds.
Right.
Boom, boom, boom,
Right.
and and then your opponent was done. So I'm just thinking that. Maybe, and I'm not discrediting you guys by any chance, by any way, shape, form, or fashion, saying it was just a time period. But the time period had to have something to do with it because of how things transferred so quickly during that time.
I think it was a combination. It's a combination, and, for the lack of, I don't even know how to compare it, but it's kind of like how now in New York, let's say, for example, with marijuana, how it can be sold at certain places. So it's a floodgate. It's everybody's going for it.
Right.
So at one point with hip hop, all right, there was a couple of labels, right? But then during that time, it was more like, yo, listen, there's real money we can make from this. The corporate entities started realizing that.
Right.
So with the combination of that and the floodgates being wide open,
Right.
in addition to Ill having the hype, the Source magazine, that was credible stuff. So when the A&R is saying this is magazine, this publication is putting a stamp on this guy, here's a guy that's been working on it, and we was about to make him get hot.
Right.
They came together, and then you have all of these other things that are happening at the same time, and you watching Bad Boy do this, and you watching Loud do that, and you seeing Dre do. Everybody's hype.
Right.
It's like everybody's on steroids. Like, yo, let's go. We in this.
Right.
I think it was that, and the fact that just publicly, the masses started now being more accepting of hip hop music.
Right.
Just, nationwide. Because it was regional at one point.
Mm-hmm.
That's
You know what
true.
I'm saying? But thank God people like Run and, KRS-One and Ice-T, Ice Cube, and everybody was doing the work all around the country for years.
Yeah.
Prior to the 90s,
Yep.
late 80s. Kane, everybody, Fresh Fest, all of that stuff counts. It matters.
And
all
then
our
doing the collaborations
predecessors,
with rock artists and things like that.
Exactly.
So to shed more light on the rising culture. So yeah, that makes sense.
Right. So it wasn't just our era. It was prior to our era that they laid that foundation. Like, look, listen, this is what's happening. This is what's coming. And it just popped at that time.
Well, I know for a fact the show that I was part of, Your Own TV Raps, actually helped bring hip hop culture to the entire world.
Absolutely.
And bring it, more importantly, it joined every hip hop icon from here to California.
Yes.
You know, because
we
now
got love out there because we was on the show.
That's
you
facts.
Know what I'm saying?
That's facts. Then that's facts.
Yeah.
Because at one point, you know, hip hop, as you mentioned to earlier, was pretty regional, right?
Yes.
If you did something in New York, you know, the New York region actually saw it because they watched you on Ralph, right? And if you were in Florida, you know, or if you were in, I remember back in the day having a list of all these video shows, because they had video shows all across the country,
Underground shows.
underground
that's right.
shows that just showed, you know, music from that region.
Yeah,
You know, if
locals.
you were in Florida, you know, you saw Luke, you saw all these other guys. If you were in Georgia, you saw Sade, and you saw all these other guys. If you were in Cali, you saw Ice-T, and, you know,
Houston, you're going to see the...
you're going to Ghetto
crew in
Boys,
there, yeah.
or you're going to see them, right? So, you know, and when Yo came out, we played everybody's music. So everybody said, okay, and it galvanized the United States, and it went overseas, and, you know, and it brought this music to the world, and, you know, now, you know, everybody growing up, you know, can actually, if you're in Detroit, you can actually have a Run DMC poster on your wall, or you know, Ill and Out Skratch poster on your wall, because you know who they are, you know, and you know what they're about, you know. So to that point, you know, you came out at a time where everything was on fire. You know, it's like WWE, right?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So when you and if you had a hot song, which you guys did, or you had a hot few songs, right? They work for you. So in doing the album, putting the album out, the album didn't garner the same success for whatever reason that your singles did. So was that more of the label dropping the ball, or what do you think?
matters.
Right. Well, what do you think it was that caused that?
I think that, once again, like you just said, and like I alluded to before, when you don't go in saying, all right, listen, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do this album.
Right.
It was kind of like, all right, just swing. All right, we got on bass. Then what we going to do? All right, try to steal second. You know what I'm saying?
There was no cohesive plan as it relates to, and see, that's what happens. I mean, that kind of happened to myself and Dre when we did original concept. We were just doing songs. At some point, it was just about a feel.
Dope record. I've been trying to find that online, but I can't. I had to get it from somewhere else. But
thank you, I appreciate
Yes.
that. But we had a couple of singles, you know, and our album actually did numbers when we got on television, you know. But my thing is, we didn't have a real cohesive plan. We were just guys from the neighborhood that just wanted to do songs, and I'm thinking that this was the kind of energy you guys had too, right?
Absolutely.
You know, and it's unfortunate because it was corporations that said, "Here, we got you. Here's a deal.
Right.
Here's a little money if you got paid, right? Shh on your publishing, shh on your marketing, shh on your, you know, on any ancillary money you can make off your records, you know, because that was all
promo
shush.
tour.
Yeah, right. Oh, shh, oh, your promo tour here. Oh, here's your promo tour, and we have money for your promo tour.
Right.
But if you go out there and eat all your money away, if you go out there and get the most expensive hotels, it's recoupable.
Right.
You know, it's also recoupable. So you wound up with no money, right? Your record was out, you know. So we can go on
politics.
We can go on for days as it relates to that. But yeah, but so the label what was your last year on the label Mercury? Was it 90 98?
I want to say maybe 97, because I think we dropped the second album in 97, if I make no mistake.
Right, yeah, I make no mistake. It was 97, right, 97. And yeah, so talk to us about, I mean, did you have conversations with the label? Did you speak to them in regards to doing a sophomore album after the first one came out, or did they just part ways?
Well, like we said before, this is a time in hip hop, if anybody could go back and just put your thinking cap on, where a lot of things was happening in the industry. You know, in addition to, let's say, the politics, and let's say me and Ill's business has always been straight.
Right.
But in regards, I came through a production deal.
Okay.
So there was some communication and talks of renegotiating with that. But the label was actually doing things where, and I don't want to just say the label, I want to say the label and also the production company, where we would come back off tour and you will have 3 different remixes to a song, but that's not kind of like how me and Ill wanted it to be done.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you're a producer, I would like to sit down, meet with you, talk to you. I understand we're trying to get it to the radio, but to conduct business behind my back and, like you said, spend the money that I now have to pay back to you, and this guy has a check for a song that we didn't approve, how you know I like the beat?
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? How
That's
you
crazy.
know I feel like, yeah, I want to take this and give it to the 20 DJs I just met down in South Carolina.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Because he's spending your budget.
Right.
That's
So-
your money.
Exactly. So
Right.
this is during the period where you're now being enlightened, you're getting educated as a young artist. In addition to technology taking place, the bootleg thing was going on. A lot of CDs was now.
Oh yeah, the
taking
bootleg
place
was
of
heavy.
vinyl.
It was heavy then,
You know
right?
what I'm saying?
Right.
You getting I mean, I got into the game to actually really get away from the guys on the street, you know what I'm saying, in regards to doing the negative stuff, and then to see Pac get shot and then Big get killed. There's just a lot of dynamics that was taking place to where, you know, having a child, you start thinking as a man, like, is this really what I want to do? And is it really worth it
Right.
for me to go to war and battle with people that's supposed to have my back?
Right.
A lot of those things came into play in regards to me and Il saying, you know what, we want to take a step back and really not pursue this, because the label was going under. There was a lot of consolidation of labels. It used to be a whole bunch of labels. Now there's like, what, 4 labels, I think?
Yeah,
Or 5 labels, you know what I'm saying?
If that, right.
Right. So, you know, the monopoly business came in, and it was just, you know, I tell people a lot, like, this game right here is more corrupt and more vicious than any drug game you can imagine.
Oh yeah, without question.
And
They
Yeah.
just wear suits and try to be nice and smile like this, but that knife gets plunged in your back the deepest.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's why you gotta know your business. You know
Right,
what I mean?
exactly. But all due respect to the labels, I understand it's a business, but at
Mm.
the same side of the tongue, I think that's a coward statement, because I understand it's business, but business, you can do business the right way and you can do business the messed up way.
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Everybody back then when they got there. Let me tell you something. I know for an actual fact about this as well. First time contracts were the worst.
the worst.
You know what I mean? I was victim of that, and I know so many artists that were victim of the first time contract. You know, because you know you're so amped. You're 18. I think me and Dre signed an idea when we were in our early 20s, and we were just happy to have a deal.
And
You
your
know what I mean?
lawyer was probably somebody who was connected to
To
the label.
the, think it wasn't? Think he wasn't?
Conflict of interest,
Absolutely.
but do we know that?
No,
No,
As
no.
a young boy, you
Right,
don't
right.
know that.
You don't
Or
know
a young
that.
artist, you don't know.
We didn't know. We didn't have our own
And
representation.
speaking of having your own representation, I believe that you were on the self-destruct video.
Oh, wow. You did your history.
Yeah, of course, that's what we do here,
Mount
brother.
Morris Park, get out of here.
That's what we do here, brother.
Ooh.
So there's a few questions followed behind that. How was that experience from when you were living it to now reminiscing it? Because those are 2 different perspectives, or they should be.
Right. Well, you know, one of my close homies got, he was an MC I looked up to, Apollo, had got shot down by rooftop roller disco, roller rink,
the rooftop.
55th and 8th, man. So that happened early on, like in the late 80s or what have you. But to be on that video set, seeing Kane and Stetzer and Chris and everybody like that come together, it gave you hope just as far as being a part of hip hop. Like, all right, yo, my brothers are sending out a message. Maybe it's gonna stop the violence. We had the pro-black movement and everything like that. But reminiscing on it now, just looking at the fact that it was still happening some 25 years later, it's you know, and I was watching my brother Large Pro talking about it just recently, and he was saying how, like, yo, this music brings us all together. Like, we fly, man. We supposed to be fly with this. Like, we all getting money. Like, where's the animosity and the hate and the jealousy coming from? Like,
Right.
we want each other to live, and like, that's how I look at it. Hip hop really saved my life. Is how I look at it. You
Okay.
know? So, but that self-destruction video to me was definitely an eye-opener to where it's like, yo, people could really get together as artists and make a powerful statement and do something good for the community.
And we should do more of that,
We definitely should.
without all question, because we are powerful together. Our culture is very strong, and sometimes I think we lose track of that, you know?
Right.
Because everybody's out here chasing a dollar
And
or
like I said,
spending a dollar.
And I mentioned that because you said it's about the business. Yes, but there is no business without the artist.
That's right.
So if the artists can consciously get together like they did on self-destruction, and create a bigger message to, like you said, spread throughout the regions,
Right.
then technically this could be a win-win for both of us, especially if we already know how they're using our culture, not necessarily against us, but against us or exploiting us. Let it make sense. Or math to math. The math ain't mathing now, so let's math the math. If that makes sense.
Yes, I get it. You know?
So you I just saw online a couple days ago you guys did a documentary on the life of Illinois Skratch.
I did.
You did it yourself?
Yeah, I did that. Yeah. The brother had kicked it to me in a way where it's like, you know, a lot of our artists are getting older and not able to, you know, tell their side of the story. Right. And he was like, you know, even if, you know, your partner doesn't want to be a part of it, you know, we could hear your side of the story and how you got into hip hop, and that's something that I chose to do. Okay,
it was pretty good. I watched most of it. I didn't get a chance to watch the rest of it, but I was very, very fascinated by the fact that you did that. Right. You know, and it gave me some insight into your career. You know, which is amazing. I mean, what's amazing to me, like I said earlier, is that you guys have made such an impact in a short period of time, and you know you're not unique in that. You know, because historically, I mean, we're talking about, I mean, I can go all the way back to rock and roll, where there are a lot of rock and roll artists that had a short period of time. You know, hip hop is not unique in that regard, you know, but it's the fact that you actually did this. Right. Which should be celebrated. You know, it's a celebratory energy that should be given to you as a result of that. Because a lot of people never get a chance to even get as far as you guys did, you know, and salute to you, you know, salute to Illinois Skratch.
Thank you, brother.
You know, mad respect to them. You know what I mean? Because this is something that should be celebrated, and I thank you for coming today.
Thank you, man. You know, more than the music, even though the music is important, man, is for me at this point, at this stage in my career, is, you know, talking to brothers who come home doing a long stretch and saying, if it wasn't for where my homies, you know, that song really got me through, and really shake your hand and squeeze your hand, because they seen people who didn't make it out, and they hear. Right. Or you see a young boy come up to you and say, thank you for making that song, I'll take her, because if it wasn't for that song, my father wouldn't approach my mother at their prom and I wouldn't be born. That has a deeper impact on me than just record sales and acknowledgement like that. That's the human aspect. That music is that universal language that we take for granted because that business is applied to it. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. And exactly. You know, we all know growing up listening to the soul music that was in our houses. Oh yeah, could it be? Yeah, of course. It was about those lyrics, man. The music and the lyrics is what resonated with you throughout your life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, as a consumer, you don't think in terms of how much money someone's going to make. You're thinking about what it does for you. You know, music itself is unbelievable what it can do for you. Absolutely, man. You know, music and sports. You know, it can change you. You know, it can change your whole life as a whole. You know, even if you're going through tough times. I mean, music calms the savage beast, and it also heals. You know, it's a healing. You know, without question.
You mentioned something that I definitely hope that he does not miss. I was waiting for him, but I can't wait anymore. Okay, so you do what you do, sir. Stop playing with these people and let them know your collaboration with Michael Jackson. Oh, yeah, we didn't get into that yet. It's just so much. But before you even get into that, without the song that you created, that transitioned to you to be an actor in Project Heat. So you just are like I said, amazing. I'm starting to actually be lost for so many words because you touched this avenue, you touched that avenue, you went here. So you have so much tenacity. And regardless if, you know, Ill wanted to join the journey with you, you still kept it. So let's just, for a second, just touch on your transition of becoming an actor in Project Heat. How was that experience? That had to be crazy.
Yeah, that was a phenomenal experience, man. Salute to Project Heat, you know what I'm saying, KD. But it goes back to energy, you know? And you just being in the right place at the right time. I was with one of the actors off of there, Jay, who saw me at an event, and I was just being my regular New York self, talking, and you know the way we talk, and just that's swag. And he was like, "Yo, you like an actor, man? Like, yo, I see you on this show that I'm doing." And I was actually heading out of the country, but he wanted me to call the director. I called him up, and I was just talking to him over the phone for, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 minutes, not knowing at the time he was actually interviewing me.
Oh, really?
You know what I'm saying? Because he said it was something, Jay was saying, like, it's something in my voice and my delivery. It wasn't my, face and how I looked. It was the sound of my voice and the conviction and the passion of how I speak about what I'm speaking about. And off of that, the director said, listen, when you come back in town, I would love for you to come on set and, be a part of, one of the episodes we're doing. So that's how that happened. But I think it goes back to just having that energy, Yeah.
Well, you're definitely cultivating when it comes to energy. And just to piggyback off of what T just mentioned as far as sports, you also have collaborations or did collaborations with Mr. Shaquille O'Neal, correct?
Yeah, big up Shaq.
Yeah, no doubt. Shaq Diesel in the building.
Shaq Diesel, man.
That's right. The big cactus in effect.
Brick City, man. Shaq, that was an experience. I think we flew out to, where was he at during that time? In the Midwest.
That's the Phoenix. He was in Phoenix.
No, before Phoenix. It was like 95. Where was he playing?
I know he was Boston. He was Lakers. He was Orlando. He was Phoenix.
I don't know where it was, but it was.
Shaq, call up and let us know.
Yeah,
we
let us
can't
know.
keep up everything you got going.
He was a lot of places, but
Yeah, so he brought us out. I think
San Antonio. Did he go to San Antonio? No, he didn't go to San
I
Antonio.
think that's later on. We talk about 95 maybe. Shaq got on it when it was like when we was popping. So.
Yeah, I want to know about these studio sessions.
Yo, the studio session was real quick. It was nothing. He was like, what y'all need? Y'all need anything? Back then, we was like, we just need a 40 or whatever. We was real light. We was only there to do that. I think it might have been Chicago. Might be wrong. But anyway, it goes back to that thing of just a feeling. It wasn't, we're going to do a song about my biological father, or we're going to do a song about this. It was just like, LG, play the beat. And that's why if anybody listens to the song, it's like, mic check, 1, 2, 1, 2, mic. We just checking the mic with Shaq because we want to know, like, what you got, Shaq? Like, come on.
Right.
We from Brooklyn uptown. We ain't gonna get up here and do no Disneyland, corny. I don't want to curse on here, but
Bubblegum, you could freely.
we was like, yo, mic check, 1, 2, 1, 2, mic. And Shaq jumped in like, yo, and we just
And
passed.
Shaq is about it, man. Shaq's about
write
it.
his own rhymes.
Yeah,
and
he
Shaq,
writes his own
got
rhymes.
in.
He's always been that.
And
you know
we
what I
got
mean?
a plaque off of that, so salute Shaq.
No question, no question.
Nice check, Shaq. Thank
Salute
you.
to Shaquille O'Neal in the building.
You knocking these collaborations out the
For real.
park. You got collaboration with Yo-Yo.
Oh, wow.
No
That's
question.
right. I forgot. That's right.
What?
That's right. Yeah, she was on the second album. Yo-Yo, man.
Yeah,
Salute
her
Yo-Yo.
birthday just passed too. Happy birthday,
happy
Yo-Yo.
belated birthday, Yo-Yo.
Yeah, no question. But this is what I'm trying to tell you. Your energy is great, man. You know what I mean?
Thank you,
And so this actually ushers in a question for me then.
All right.
Because I know since the group disbanded and you guys, went your separate ways.
Now,
you've-
disbanded, just for clarity.
Okay, go ahead.
What does that mean?
Oh, disbanded means that you went your separate ways. He's doing something else and you're doing this, right?
But not officially.
Not broke
Course
up
it can- yeah,
because
okay.
you guys can
Right,
come
that
together.
clarity.
Just
I
saying
don't
you
want-
guys
yeah,
are just
you know
doing
what I mean?
going
Yes.
to separate ways. You disband, you go this way, and he goes this way.
Right.
Not saying that's permanent. Okay, let's be
yes,
clear.
yes.
So, but my thing is, with that being said, all the things that you're doing yourself, and from what I'm gathering, Ella's not doing the same things. Is that by design? Is that what he didn't want to do what you're doing, or?
I'll say this. There was one point where, before my eldest passed on, my mom's, my sister, my brother, I was taking care of family. Not that that's his situation, but I know when it comes to family, he's got a lot more family that I have remaining at this point. But I know that people are older and everything like that. But, when I was going through that, he respected that and was like, Al, do your thing. It wasn't like, drag me and let's do it. But once I took care of my people, I feel complete and knowing like I did all that I could do. I was there all the way to the end, visited everybody. And now when I do what I'm doing, which is whether I'm freestyling or DJing with my brother Carlos from Classic Material as the Basquiat Brothers, I'm whole right now. I don't have any regrets like I'm leaving somebody behind or I'm neglecting somebody. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I could say in regards to his situation. I don't know exactly specifically what's going on, but I do know that he does pop out sometimes when I say, yo, this is where we need to be at. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's peace. I was just asking because I wanted to know at any point in time when you guys still get together and do a
homie for
song or
life.
whatever. Okay, well,
we got stuff recorded, brother. That's what I'm saying.
That's facts.
We got things recorded.
That's all good. I'm just,
I want to let it go, but I know.
No doubt.
Yes.
It's all good, though. I
Yeah.
just want to make sure.
Yeah.
I don't want to miss over that Michael Jackson collaboration because I know you're very passionate about it. That's one of the collaborations you're very, very passionate about it. I'm not here to tell your story on why you're passionate about
How
it.
you know I'm passionate about it? How did you know that?
Because that's my job to know.
Okay, that's
That's
good.
You
right.
know what I
Good,
mean?
That's dope. I like that.
I want you to tell your audience and your new fans why you're so passionate about it.
Wow. Well, Michael Jackson is one of my greatest inspirations, man. You know, I love kids. I love children. I love doing good things for the kids. But as a child, I looked up to him. My sister used to tell me stories of how I used to spin and rip my pants like him and Mike James Brown,
Right.
split and everything. But that I think with that particular song, like out of all the songs he did, that's the song I would want to be on because it's speaking to the truth. He was coming into, or maybe already had awareness of what was really happening. And it's true till today, man. They don't really care about us. You know, that's a hard pill for people to swallow. But I'll look right into this camera, man. They don't care about you, dog, sister. That's the real deal. And to be a part of a record like that, to me, it gave power and strength, you know? And that's just something where it made me feel like even though he had this illustrious career and could have did any type of whatever, he gave us a message. A lot of it goes over a lot of
Michael
people's
Jackson,
head.
yeah, no question.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They muted him on certain parts of his vocal. You know what I'm saying? Because he said certain things. That lets you know right there what this is really about. I'm not trying to get political on it, but like to me, that's my greatest accomplishment in this music career.
Okay.
And for him to pick me and Ill out of rappers just off of the vocal tones and just what we said, because it was a real quick 6 or 8 bars in the song. You know what I'm saying? But what we wrote was something that related to exactly what he was doing in the song. Most rappers, and no disrespect, they'll get on and just kick their bars and, you know, do their little ego pride thing. But I like to take compositions and songs and write specifically custom tailored to whatever the song is really gonna be about. And I think that's what makes timeless, you know, classic, legendary music. You know, so
That's very
that's
true.
why I'm really passionate
That's you.
about that.
That's just you being an artist. That's a good artist right there.
Right.
Artistry. You know.
Yes.
So that's very important. You know.
You
Absolutely.
did your homework. I like Ciara Ross,
Yeah,
man.
man. She ain't no joke.
What else do you know? Because I got some other things. Because he brought up self-destruction. I'm like, oh, snap, what's coming now?
What you want to tell the people, though? You
mean,
know,
Listen,
your business ain't my business to tell. Unless you give
Al,
me
talk to
permission.
me. You alluded to you're DJing now.
Yes.
You know, so please talk to us a little about you're DJing in the crew that you have with you. You guys that's
Yes.
DJing with you.
Carlos, my brother
Carlos?
from Classic Material.
Okay,
NY.
Classic Material, no doubt.
You know what I'm saying? He does a lot of the merch and shirts that captures a lot of the era that we grew up in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But just going back to what Ciara Ross was talking about, prior to the self-destruction video, I was actually there because I came in to the game through Kool Mo D.
No facts.
You know what I'm saying? Kool Mo D's manager, LaVeba Mallison. Salute to LaVeba.
Oh wow.
I mean, officially, he got us the deal on Jive RCA. That was my first major label deal back when I was 18 or whatever it was. But I was the DJ for the group,
Right.
you know, Party Posse. But I've been a DJ. The group gave me my name, Al Skratch. Once again, they ain't want it to be all colorful and gimmicky. Just, yo, your name is Al, whatever. It's going to be Al Skratch because you're just keeping the beat on time. You're not making it skip. We able to do our routines, battle people, and take them out. So that's not what I'm doing now in regards to just, you know, DJing for an MC. But me and my brother Carlos actually do parties. We do the I Love the Old New York party in New York. We've been to Queens, Brooklyn, the Bronx. We're going to be in Manhattan this month. And we just, you know, trying to celebrate the culture in regards to how the old New York used to be. You know, there was a time where hip-hop was, it included, you know, house, you know,
Of course.
rap.
Of course.
We played a little reggae. It was everything. And that's why Flash and Bambaataa and Herc and all those brothers was able to come down into Soho and play different genres of
They
music
had
and
to do that.
expose
They had to do that,
what was
man,
up- what was up there.
to
you know?
expand that audience, bro.
Exactly. So
That's dope.
yeah.
Are you still accepting new artists on Deep Soul Entertainment?
Right now, that's on the back burner, but I would definitely be open and willing to listen to anything that comes across the desk, though. You know,
And for those that do not know or not familiar, that is his label that he has.
That's correct.
Deep Soul Entertainment.
No doubt.
You know,
That's
wow,
good
a
stuff,
lot of
man.
history in here.
No, we don't play no games in here, bro.
I like that.
We don't play no games in here. So look here, man. I'm gonna have to check you out DJing, bro. I gotta check
Come
you
on,
out.
let's do it.
You
Where
know
can
what-
we find you on social
Yeah,
media?
let us know where you at.
Al Skratch, ALSKRATCH. That's my Instagram.
That's right.
Facebook. I think I'm Al Skratch on Facebook. It's Al Skratch everything. Twitter. Even though I don't be doing, I'm mostly on Instagram.
Okay, that's
I try to keep up, but it's too much.
It's a lot.
Facts.
It's a lot. It's a full-time job to
My
do that.
Snapchat assistant back there, she's supposed to be hooking me up and helping me out, but she be handling her own.
Okay, no question.
You know what I mean?
No question.
Multitasking.
Yes.
Listen, man, it was a pleasure to have you here today, man. I mean, the legendary Al Skratch in the building. Thanks a lot. This is the T-Money Podcast
One
joint.
Final question.
Featuring
T,
Ciara Ross.
I'm so sorry. T, don't
Hold
get
on,
me.
wait.
Don't get
Audience,
me.
listen to me.
Don't
See
get
what she
me.
did. See what she just did.
I know it just popped up. I'm so sorry, but I know you want to know.
My big thing happened, and then she just cut me off. Yo, but I want to hear what you have to say. I'm listening to you. Listen, watch.
Do you have any regrets?
Oh, very good question.
No regrets.
And that is
That's
the
it,
T-Money
then.
Podcast joint featuring Ciara
No
Ross.
doubt. Al Skratch in the building. I have no regrets either that she stopped me from saying that, okay? Because that was a very important question.
Yes.
My man.
The universe is in control.
No
man.
question. Harlem all day, man. Al
day.
Skratch in the building.
Yes.
We out. Deuces.
Bye.
T-Money Podcast joint.